What's up, guys? Back with another Honkai Star video, and with only 4-ish days left until Topaz and Numby came out, I figured I would do a should use summon. Now, I will talk about the light cone at the end, but I'm going to be honest with you, the light cone is nothing crazy, nothing you should really go out of your way for, but I will mention at the end. So Topaz and Numby are a fire hunt unit. They are pretty cool because they are, I believe, unless I'm somehow forgetting someone, the first duo unit, right? This means it's not just like one name, it's just Topaz and Numby, which I think is kind of cool. If it was just Topaz, you know, I'd be like, okay, whatever. The fact that they call it Topaz and Numby makes me pretty excited because they could do duo cards. I'm just saying, if they wanted to make some money, they could, you know, whip out a, like, you know, Himiko and Welt character, like a Don Hang and March, or like, you know, Blade Kafka. I'm just saying, you know, if they want money, they could put some like dual cards together. They already made a 5-star Don Hang, so it's not like they're scared of making multiple summon characters. I'm just saying, you know, like, you know, if they want to make money. Anyway, she focuses on follow-up attacks, so right, pretty interesting for the hunt character to have follow-up attacks and just focus on them, because the only one who does is Yanqing, but it's kind of just a little bit of extra damage. It's not the essential part of the kit. So let's go over what she does. This is going to be at the max level if you only have one dupe. So basic fire attack, right? Nothing crazy. Then her first skill, she inflicts a status debuff called Proof of Debt. This increases the damage the enemy takes from follow-up attacks by 50%. It only takes effect on the most recent target if there are no enemies inflicted with Proof of Debt on the field when an ally's turn starts, or when an ally takes action, she will inflict it to a random enemy. And then, of course, the skill itself does 150 fire damage equal to Topaz's attack. Numby will do this. Then, using the skill's damage is considered launching a follow-up attack. This is important for later. Now, our ultimate, Numby enters the Windfall Bonanza state, and its damage multiplier increases by 150 and crit damage is increased by 25. Also, when enemies with Proof of Debt are hit by an ally's basic attack, skill, or ultimate, pretty much if they do damage, besides like DOT or something like that, Numby's action is advanced forward by 50%. Numby exit the state after 2 attacks. Now you might be wondering, Numby? Yes, because her talent is summons Numby at the start of battle. Numby has base 80 speed. When taking action, Numby launches follow-up attacks on a single enemy target inflicted with Proof of Debt, dealing fire damage equal to 150 of Topaz's attack. When enemies inflicted with Proof of Debt receive an ally's follow-up attack, Numby's action is advanced forward by 50%. The action advanced forward effect cannot be triggered during Numby's own turn. When Topaz is down, Numby disappears. Pretty much you just get a little ally, and you know, you do follow-up attacks or do something like the ultimate, you know, you get enhancements, you go faster, all that good stuff, right? Now that is why having the skill be a follow-up attack is important, but it gets even better with the technique. You summon Numby, and Numby will search for treasures and trotters within a set radius, right? This technique will regenerate 60 energy for Topaz after Numby's first attack. If Topaz is still on the team after using her technique and defeating overworld enemies, you will get bonus credits, and if you use it in Simulated Universe, you have a small chance of getting only Kuro, otherwise you're just getting some cosmic fragments. Now, to make her even better, her bonus abilities, right? After Numby uses an attack while in the Windfall Bonanza state, you get 10 more energy. The second one increases her and Numby's damage dealt to enemies with fire weakness by 15%. And the last one is when Topaz uses a basic attack to deal damage, it will be considered a follow-up attack. And that means if you basic attack or skill, it counts as a follow-up attack, which pretty much if you do anything with her, you get a 50% boost to advance forward. So as long as you use 2 attacks from Topaz, Numby will be able to attack. Now you can make this go by faster by doing a few things. One, the simplest, is just have follow-up attack characters on your team. Now that's pretty much the easiest. You could have Ting Yun help you get your ult faster. That way any ally can help advance Numby's action. Or, you know, Bronya also helps by just straight up making Topaz attack again. If you attack, then use Bronya buff on Topaz and attack again. That's just a free Numby attack. Pretty much, theoretically, what you'd want is to ult attack with Numby, and then have your ult ready to go, just so it's always in the enhanced state. How easy will that be? Really depends on your team, right? But overall, she really wants to be with some sort of follow-up attack character, or just, you know, the hyper carry. I'm sure you can run her with both. The first team that comes to mind is her, Himiko, and Asta, and then of course a fire weak enemy, just so you can take advantage of Himiko's follow-up attack, and then Asta because she, you know, gives attack, which Numby scales off of, and then also gives you more speed. And Asta also gives just an innate fire bonus, so of course Himiko and Topaz and Numby will get that. The only issue is, you know, the whole follow-up attack thing. I'm not saying you have to run her with follow-up attack characters, but she obviously prefers doing that. I'm not going to go over traces because honestly I don't think you should chase traces. English is hard. Chase traces, there we go, on this character. I wouldn't say she's a bad DPS, but compared to Jinglu and Dan Heng, it's kind of, you know, I wouldn't say fallen off, but she's not as crazy. She gets her basic stuff, like one of the passives, she gets a new effect. When enemies effective proof death, receive follow-up attacks, they get a debuff. Increases crit damage and follow-up attacks inflicted on target by 25%, second up to 2 times. Like, it's pretty good, right? And then you get stuff like helping Numby attack more, get more energy. This one's also more damage. So just pretty, like, generic traces. Not saying they're bad, but I don't recommend chasing dupes with this character unless you really like her. Of course, if you love Topaz and Numby, I will always say summon for who you like, but Jinglu and Dan Heng were just so crazy, and, you know, in the middle was Fu Xuan, so it's kind of, you know, a little rough out there, right? I recommend don't summon if you already have your DPSs. You really only need 2 to 3 of them, especially if you already have all 3 built. You know, you're just, I wouldn't say wasting resources, but they could be going to other characters. Now, if you already have your 2 teams like fully built, you're satisfied, and you're already trying to make a 3rd team, you know, sure, go ahead, right? I'm doing the same thing, working on multiple teams so I can have more fun. If you're a day 1 player, you're probably already at this point, but if you are a newer player, definitely consider just like chilling for a bit, and then when she rerolls, you can get it then. But regardless of that, let's get into the light cone real quick. And oh man, it is like, if you pull for Topaz and Numby, the light cone is really good, right? If you don't want Topaz and Numby and you just want the light cone to help boost hunt characters, yeah, no, don't do that. Increases the wearer's crit rate by 18% and follow-up attack damage by 30%. After the wearer uses a follow-up attack, apply the tame state to the target, stacking up to 2 stacks. When allies hit enemy targets under the tame state, every tame stack increases the crit damage by 12%. Now, of course, this would be really good on Topaz because follow-up attack, bam. Numby has all the buffs, really good damage, right? Slight issue with that. The only other hunt character that does follow-up attacks at the moment is Yanqing, and to be honest with you, Yanqing is not going to want to run this. You're not running Yanqing as a support. Yanqing is also single target based. He can't hit enemies, so, you know, you're not really getting too much out of this. I mean, Topaz can't hit them either, but at least she benefits a lot more from this than Yanqing would. Also, Yanqing's just not very good and not in a good spot at all right now, so giving him this light cone would be really, really weird. Other than that, that's kind of it. It's pretty a strict light cone. If you're summoning for Topaz and Numby, so you probably should go for this, but, you know, it's not universal. It's nothing like Zele's, it's nothing like Jingun's. Just don't bother if you're not going for the 5-star. But anyway, that'll pretty much be it. Like I said before, it's another case of if you already have your DPSs, don't bother. There's also better DPSs. It's not like Dan Heng or Jinglu where it's like, hey, they're the best one. If you want a DPS, this is it, right? After this, we should be getting what was it, a healer, and then a AoE physical with oh man, I'm forgetting the other one's name, but it's Argenti and someone else. I'm spacing on her name, but the other one's a healer, right? So we will be seeing how good she is and if you should summon with her over the low chest. So if you want to get that information when it comes out, don't forget to subscribe, and of course, thank Thanks for watching. Let me know if you're subbing for Topaz in the comments or you're skipping. And of course, I'll catch you on the next one.